Hey guys, it is currently 12:53 a.m. My sleep schedule is absolutely cooked. I am absolutely done for. I hope everyone's having a great day, and I have an amazing story time to start out this channel. This is a story time of how I got caught by the cops. Now, this was still when I was in high school. This was around 2022, so I was about like 15 or 16 at the time. And yeah, it's a great one, it's a good one, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So this story starts out when I was hanging out with my friend, let's just call him Justin. And me and Justin, we were pretty good friends. And he was younger than me. He was probably about like 14. I think about like 14, yeah. And I was about like 15, 16 at the time, right? And me and him used to hang out a lot around this time. We used to ride bikes everywhere, and that was like our whole shtick. We would ride bikes. Actually, it's funny. Me and him would go around in Philly a lot, and like that's where we would ride bikes. Like we would just do wheelies and stuff. And yeah, that was when I was younger and stupid. And guys, let me preface: don't do anything in the videos that I talk about. Please, like for your safety, like don't do any of what I'm about to talk about, please. Please don't do any of it. Anyways, but yeah, basically, I was hanging out with him one day, and you know, it was just a normal day. I came home with my parents from like a doctor's appointment or whatever, very early in the morning. And I actually remember I got woken up and I wouldn't wake up, and I'm pretty sure my mom actually poured water on my head. That used to happen to me a lot. I wouldn't get up when people tried to wake me up. Anyways, so upon getting home, probably around like 12 p.m., I get a text on my phone, and it's Justin. And he's like, "Yo, bro, do you want to come over?" And I'm like, honestly, yeah, I do. At this time, I was thinking in my head, I was like, I don't want to go outside, but low-key, it's Justin. He's chill. He's awesome. Now, when I got to Justin's house, let me just say, I had an SE bike, which was like one of those bikes that does like wheelies and stuff. The thing about my bike, it was huge. The wheels were absolutely humongous. And that's the problem, is that when I put it in the yard, it was so visible. I was so afraid it was going to get stolen. So I asked him for a bike lock. Now, that bike lock comes in the story later. Like, that has to tie in later in the story. So when I got to his house, me and him were chilling, like, on the couch. We were playing. His mom wasn't home. And I'm pretty sure Justin's mom actually lived with, like, a roommate or whatever. And like, he was pretty chill. I'm pretty sure he got home. We were playing. And Justin goes upstairs and he's like, "Give me 1 second." And he comes down with like an AR. And I'm like, "What the fuck, man? Well, where the fuck did you get that?" And he's like, "It's my airsoft gun." And he shot me with it. And it hurt so bad. I remember to this day it hurting so goddamn bad that like it left a welt on my chest. I was like, "Damn, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, why would you shoot me with that?" And like I said, don't do any of what I'm about to say. He used to stand at his window and shoot it at cars as they were going by. And I remember there was one day that, like, he said he broke one of the windows, like one of them shattered, and he said he was never going to do it again. But, like, here we are, Anyways, so we're chilling. We're eating some, like, Cheetos, Doritos, whatever. We're just chilling. And he's like, "Yo, bro, do you want to have a campfire?" And I was like, "I mean, yeah, I guess. Like, who's going to come over?" And he was like, "I'm going to invite, like, 3 girls and I think 2 guys." And I was like, why don't you just, like, invite anybody? Like, why does it need to be a certain amount? And he was like, "You'll see." Now, in my head, when he said "you'll see," I mean, I'm thinking 2 things right then. I'm like, okay, so either one, we're about to hit like a 2 or 3 man or 4 man, or he's low-key just a fucking idiot and he doesn't know who to invite, so he's gonna invite anybody. Now that's a problem, because in my town there was a lot of people that just didn't like me specifically, or if they didn't like me, they just did not like him. Like, he was not the most liked person. Justin was not the most liked. So, like, probably 30 minutes later, maybe like an hour later, one of the kids shows up, and let's call this kid Jack. So Jack was very muscular. I want to point that out. He was a very muscular guy, like very muscularly built, and that'll come into play later. And when he shows up, he's like, "Yo, what's up, bro?" And he dabs me up, and then he dabs Justin up, and we all go inside. We're all chilling. We're all playing games. We stopped like just eating, and then we actually like play video games or whatever. And Jack was like, "Yo, bro, there's nothing to do. I'm bored." And Justin was like, "Yo, I wanted to have a campfire." And then Justin's like, "Do you have it?" And I look over at him. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Not you, Jack. Do you have it?" And I'm like so confused at this point. And Jack pulls out like a wad of what looked like weed, and it smelled so bad. Like, don't get me wrong, bro. I definitely had my share of smoking in my life, but this was the worst smelling weed I've ever fucking smelled in my life. I was like, "Yo, put that away. That is disgusting. It smells like shit." And he was like, "Yo, chill, bro. I got this shit myself." And I was like, "Did you plant it?" And he was like, "Nah, bro. I got it from my dealer. Yo, chill." And he's trying to be all tough and act all tough. And like, let me just tell you, this was a white kid. Like, this was a muscular dude, but he was white. Like, he was very white. Now, we're all chilling. They decide to smoke at some point. I decide to veer off. Now, at this point, that's when like people actually started to show up. There was like two girls that showed up. I think that maybe it was like two other dudes that showed up too. One of them ended up leaving early. Like, he probably ended up leaving like an hour after he showed up. So around this time, night starts to fall, or night starts to like come up or whatever. And he wants to start the fire. Now keep in mind, it's a little cold outside, and my bike is locked up right where he wants to start the fire. And we start the fire, and Jack has the genius idea of doing slap boxing. I was like, "Why the fuck would you want to do that, man? Why would you want to slap box?" And he was like, "Oh, come on, bro. It'll be fun. Like, it'll be chill. It'll be fun, bro. Like, I'm not going to hurt anybody." And Justin was over here egging him on. So he's like, "All right, bro. Step up. Step up." Now, what I'm about to tell you, I want you to imagine this real quick. Jack winded up his hand and absolutely bodied Justin. Like, he slammed him to the ground, and I heard a thump on the ground when he did it. It was maybe the craziest. It was like the biggest cartoon thing I've ever seen. It's like Batman from the 1960s. It was so funny. And he was like, "Oh, fuck, man, why would you do that?" And he was like, "You're talking shit, bro. Talking fucking shit, bro." And I'm over here like, I'm not saying a word. And then Jack turns around to me and he says, "You're next, bro. Let's go." And Justin is egging him on even more. So he's getting more mad to fight me. So I step up, right? And I'm getting in my stance. And I throw one hit. And he looks at me. He smacks me like twice. And I try to weave. And he waits. And he smacks me so hard I fell on my ass. And I remember being like, "Oh, fuck." And he beat my ass. In front of like two girls, by the way. And they were like really pretty. Like, I remember thinking like, "Damn, they're really pretty." So I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed as fuck. Like, I did not know what to do. And I was pissed too, because like, he just bodied me in front of two girls. Like, he disrespected me. So I got like mad. I got pressed. He really started to like piss me off. So I was like, "Bro, why the fuck would you do that, man? Like, I told you this was a stupid idea, and you're beating the shit out of me, and you're hitting him. Like, come on, bro, let's stop." And he was like, "All right, all right." Now, Justin, again, someone has the genius idea of doing stupid shit. And what else would freshmen and sophomores do other than throw rocks in the road, right? So that's what we started doing. And we thought it was fun to watch cars crush rocks. Now, at the time, I guess I wasn't really thinking that hard, because if I was thinking hard enough, I would have known not to throw rocks at cars, thinking there was, I don't know, anybody on the road that could have crashed. So we're throwing rocks, and I decide to throw the biggest brick of all time. Like, it was probably the size of a basketball. And I throw it in the road, and a cop car zooms by. And it wasn't going that fast. It maybe going like 20 miles an hour. And it runs over this rock, this like concrete block, and it pops the tire. And as soon as that happens, he flicked on his light. And Justin looked at me and he said, "Go, go, go, go." And I was like, fuck, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So I'm trying to unlock this bike lock, and there's a pair of giant pliers next to me. So I grab it and I cut it. And I remember Justin screaming at me like, "That's my only bike lock. Why the fuck would you do that?" And I'm like, "I don't care right now. I'm getting out of here." So I get on my bike and I'm riding down. And I'm guessing the cop sees me. And I guess like he called backup or like another cop, because another cop came zooming right down the street. And keep in mind, the police station was not even a mile away. Like, the police station was very close by. So they showed, like, he had to have called someone and they showed up almost immediately. So he shows up and he sees me and we make eye contact and he stops the car. And keep in mind, I'm on my bike on a sidewalk that leads into a road. Like, it veers off sidewalk and goes into road. Like, there's no longer a sidewalk. And he goes, "Let me guess, you're the one who threw that rock at my buddy?" And I'm like, I didn't know what to say. Like, I stood there, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and we just stared at each other for like a good minute and a half. And he was like, "You're gonna talk? Like, you're gonna say something? Come on, man. Like, you just threw a rock on my butt, right? Yeah, that was you?" And I finally spoke up, and I was like, yeah, I did. That was me." So I sit down on like this grassy hill, and finally I'm like, "Yeah, that was me. I'm sorry. Like, me and my friends are being stupid, and like, I can't lie. They were doing it too. Like, I'm not gonna be a rat or whatnot. Like, I'm not gonna blame it on them." And the other cop, as I'm explaining this, comes over to me, and he's pissed. Like, he was so mad. Like, I remember he had like these really big eyebrows, and when I looked at him and he looked back at me, his eyebrows were like all the way down. You could see him visibly mad, and I chuckled a little bit. I don't know if he saw me, but I definitely chuckled a little bit. And like, he started questioning me too, and he was like, "So was it just you, or was your buddies too?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was my buddies too." And he was like, "Really? Because I just heard from your friends over there that it was only you, and that you ran away and you were going to blame it on them." And I was like, in my head thinking, "Yo, these motherfuckers just actually ratted on me. They just threw me under the bus." And at that moment, I finally realized that Justin was like not a great guy. Like, I finally realized that I should probably find better friends. And I mean, I should have known that when he shot a fucking car with not a paintball, an airsoft gun. But, you know, of course, I was stupid. I was young, 15, 16. I'm stupid. So, you know, finally, after this was all done, he asked for my information. He asked for my address. He asked for my phone number. And at the time, like at 15, 16, I didn't have an ID. So, like, I just rode home. Luckily enough, the other cop, not the one that I hit with the brick, but the other cop was so chill that he let me off the hook. Don't think that has incentive for you to do the same thing, guys. But he let me off the hook. I don't know how, but he was chill. And he let me go home. And I remember going to my mom that night, and I was like, "Hey, it was a pretty crazy day I had." And she said, like, "What did you do?" And I was like, I lied. And I said I went to Philly, and I did all this stuff. Guys, don't lie to your parents. Please don't lie to your parents. Like, just tell them the truth. If they ask you what you did, just tell them. Because they're going to find out. And lo and behold, 2 weeks later, my mom gets a call from the police station, and I get grounded for a week because I threw a fucking brick at a cop car. Now, I thought that story would end there, but it does not. Because I see Justin maybe like 2 months later after we didn't talk because he ratted on me. And he was pissed because his mom found out about the situation because the cop asked for their information too. And he got grounded for a month. And I remember Justin was like, he was like shitting on me. He was like, "Yo, what the fuck, man? Like, I got grounded. Like, what the fuck?" And we're in the middle of like this pizza place. Like, that was the hangout spot. Like, we hung out at like this pizza spot. And he was like shitting on me. He was yelling at me. And I was like, "I'm not doing this, bro. I'm going to get up. I'm going to go home." He puts his hand on my shoulder. And I shit you not, it was out of a movie. I get my hand and I slap him straight in his face. And he looks at me and he's like, "Oh, he's like appalled, like he doesn't know what to say. And I'm like, don't fucking touch me, man. I'm not doing this shit. So I don't know what came over me, but that day I was just in a mood. But yeah, very chill cop, not a great friend. So yeah, that's the end of my story, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed this one. Um, yeah, moral of the story, guys, don't throw rocks at cop cars. Please, like, oh my lord. Stupidest thing, I'm thinking back on everything, and this is one of the stupidest things that I've ever done in my entire life. Never do it. Just never do it. But yeah, that's the end of the story time. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to comment below your favorite part of the story, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day.